Good morning, boys. Sorry, this is way overdue, but these are the week 13 power rankings. Got the Yu-Gi-Oh hair going on right now. But I'm just gonna make this brief. I've had a lot of shit to do the last 48 hours, so I apologize for not getting these rankings out to you guys earlier, but without further ado, here we go. Starting off at number 12, no change, we got Carl. Beat Hato last week, so his only 2 wins on the season come against Hato. But other than that, I'm sorry, dude. Lost season. Tough season. Don't really want to get much more into it. Not much to talk about. Just poor decision making. Very unlucky results. Pretty much got scored like 150 against every week. So, yeah, not much to say. Carl at 12. Hato at 11. Again, lost Carl last week, but his 2 wins are against opponents going to the playoffs, so I just gotta put him higher. But if it was only against, like, say, TJ or Carson, then I'd consider putting Carl up higher. But yeah, not much change. I thought you had a good lineup, Hato. I thought you were gonna be able to, like, maybe eke your way into the playoff hunt, or at least play spoiler to some teams, but you're doing none of that. So Hato at 11. Going up to number 10, we've got TJ. I don't think there's a change from last week, but tough, man. You might as well just pick up the whole Bills roster, because that's what you're building right now. So on paper, you were supposed to win the league like 6 weeks ago, and now you're sitting here at number 10 fighting for your last chance at a playoff spot, and I don't know if it's going to happen this week. So tough season. I'm pretty sure in the 3 years that we've done this league, you've made the playoffs once, and that was last year, and you were like the last seed. So from the years coming on, we need to see some. You talk a hot shit about fantasy, and we need to see some results. So TJ at 10. Number 9, we got Carson. Again, same boat as TJ. 4 and 8, basically hoping that one of Skylar or Ruben loses their last 2 games to get into the playoffs. So it's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be tough. Not saying it's impossible, but Carson, your team just fell apart. As I've said in previous power ranking videos, you pushed all your chips in on Derrick Henry, and it didn't work out for you, and you basically just gave up most of your starting lineup and a couple really good depth pieces for it, and that basically hindered the rest of your season. Obviously, the move at the time was garnered, and you had Derrick Henry, but nobody could have seen him getting hurt. So other than that, I mean, you got unlucky this year. Yeah, I don't know. You just didn't have those guys this year. You just didn't have those guys. And if you make the playoffs, all kudos to you, because I really don't think who I have at 9 and 10 are going to make it in Carson and TJ, but we'll see. We got 2 weeks left. You're out 2 spots. One second. Fucking dogs, am I right? Alright, so yeah, as I was saying, 2 weeks left, 2 games out of a playoff spot. Anything can happen. It's fantasy football, baby. Going up to number 8, we got Skylar. Just holding on to a playoff spot. Last week was unlucky against me. Lost by 6 yards. I mean, I could attribute that to a lot of things. Maybe if I put the Bucs defense in and Kittle scores a couple more points, it's not that close. But regardless, big win for me, because I needed to. I'm trying to get that 1 seed, baby. But tough for Skyler because if he had gotten that win, he would have clinched his spot in the playoffs. So we live to fight another week in TJ and Carson's eyes. So, not much to be said. You've got Connor, Kyler, maybe AJ Brown coming back this week. So it's gonna be a big week for you. You could be making some noise going into the playoffs. You got a solid lineup, so we'll see where that happens. Whether or not you get drawn against Sean or Hazel, I don't think it matters because it's going to be a good matchup either way. Moving up to number 7, Ruben. Just unlucky, man. The last couple of weeks you put up like 120 plus, so I can't really dock you for not putting up points. Just coming up against people that put up more than you, and you've fallen quite a bit in these rankings. I think you were like 6-0 at one time, or like 5-0 or 6-1, some shit like that, and now you're 6-6. So, not saying you don't have the roster to do it, because I think Waddle's a beast. I think James Robinson is good. I think just your roster in general, Lamar Jackson, like from quarterback up until you get to your second wide receiver, solid. And then I'd say your tight end is iffy. Fant, I don't know. Fant had high expectations this year. He's really fallen short. So that could be the downfall of your team in the playoffs. We'll see. But just need a win this week and you clinch your playoff spot. So big week for you, Rube. Big week. Moving up to number 6, we got Rude Jerry. Rude, I don't need to say anything. You know why I got you here. Last 2 weeks have been pretty bad. So I still think at 8-4 you've got a chance to make some noise in the playoffs, but with Alvin Kamara being hurt, that really hurts your chances going forward, because that's the bread and butter of your team. You drafted Kamara the last 2 years and have not dealt him once. So kudos to you for sticking with your guys like that, Kamara and Mahomes. But I don't know. Brandon Cooks' play has dropped off. DJ Moore is streaky with that inconsistent quarterback playing Carolina now. I mean, you're really running on Mahomes and Michael Pittman right now. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if your team can gather it together, because you've started to fall off the rails a little bit the last, I'd probably say 4 weeks. All right, moving up to number 5. Here we get into the top 5. We've got Yorkie. I know Yorkie's on a little bit of a cold streak right now, but you just look at that lineup and you think, how the fuck does this not win the league? So, I mean, with Aaron Jones being healthy again, you've got elite options off the bench. So it's really going to be a game of pick 'em every week for you. You're going to be kicking yourself if you pick the wrong elite player and that guy goes off on your bench and you lose because of that. So I'd say personally that's a really tricky situation to be in, and I'd rather have less elite players on my bench than not, just because I don't want to have to deal with that. But at the same time, you've got that depth and you've got that option to just bring off the bench in case someone gets hurt or you'd like the matchup better. So depending on what you're thinking, I think your team could definitely make it far in the playoffs, just barring any unforeseen setbacks. But Yorkie at 5. I mean, not much to say. Tough week last week, but I expect you to bounce back. I expect to see some Yorkie in the playoffs, and that's pretty much it. I expect to see like 140 from Yorkie this week at least. Just coming off that last week, not putting up a lot, so we'll see. Moving up to number 4, we got Durs. Durs, man, you're climbing up, man. You're climbing up. You're making yourself known. You've got the most points scored in the league, but you've also got like the least amount of points scored against you. So we'll say very top heavy, very lucky. But you got a good roster. Chubb, Eckler, best duo in the league. Arguably, I mean, Chubb's very touchdown dependent, but Chubb's behind one of the best lines in the league, so it doesn't matter. But Chubb, Eckler, very good. Cooper Kupp, don't need to say anything on that. Gronk is going to really show out for you. So, really solid lineup, but your team is inconsistent, and that's been the story the entire year. Going into the playoffs, I'd feel very strong if I was you. I'd feel very confident. Never feel too confident. That's one thing. Never feel too confident going into the fantasy football playoffs, because literally anything can happen. But Durs, man, we got you at number 4. Going up the rankings every week, making yourself known, putting up points. Nothing more than I can say to that. Just very inconsistent lineup, and you're either putting up damn near 200